Do you know what's been the best part about this Christmas?
Go for it.
The Briltex Instant Scourer.
I'm sorry, I've never come across the Briltex Instant Scourer. Can you give me the JML rundown?
What? Don't make it out like it's an advert or something. Just this spongy.
Sounds like an advert.
It's just this spongy metallic sort of non-stick square that's made mincemeat of my dishes, and I didn't even have mincemeat. God, it makes me sound like I'm doing an advert again. And I'm not. I mean, we're not being sponsored or anything like that. So don't think that's the 1 minute. Hiya. Oh fuck! I can't find the button on the phone. How do you work a telephone? Hiya. Gavin. It's Gavin Peabottom, the twin humanities lawyer.
Oh.
No, I didn't. What do you... Yeah? Oh, come on, the Patreon's nearly £1. We can nearly afford... Do you want the fig rolls? What have you done for us? Movril? Where's the money for... He's gone. Hi, this is Twin Humanities, and we're back for a Christmas special.
It's 2 days after Christmas, which is the best time for a Christmas special.
Well, because how do you know what you're getting for Christmas until you've truly calmed down?
Well, you could rattle the boxes and stuff, you know.
Well, it doesn't work. Just don't be foolish. You're not. There's a Star Wars joke, isn't there? In there.
There is one there. Speaking of rattling boxes, do you know Laura actually wrapped up an empty box with some pasta in it?
Really?
To fool me, because she was like, you always shake it and work out where the Lego is, and it was the best sounding noise she could find that sounded like Lego.
I felt your presence.
Foley! Motherfucking Foley.
There we go.
I don't think I've washed that flask, and I might have breathed in death. Right, so what did you get for Christmas stuff? This is going to be all over the place. And it's going to be up and down, and there's going to be giggles, and there are going to be emotions. We know this. So, Patrick, talk with your face.
Cool. Well, before we do Christmas, then I'm going to cover what I got for my birthday. No. This is good.
Oh, you're one of these Christmas children, aren't you?
Yeah, I am.
It's not your day. It's the day when Santa built the robot Jesus. I think I've stolen that from somebody.
You must have.
I think I have. Sorry.
Run with it. I don't care.
Go on.
Okay.
Awkward silence. We don't use that truncate silence thing on here. So whereas on another podcast it'd be like, we're just like,
you can hear the tumbleweeds in the background just rolling past, just rolling past the cowboy whistles.
The ghost of Sean Bell's perm.
You.
It's a wonderful head of hair that young man had. Wonderful head of hair, and if there's anything I've discovered in this last week, it's that Matt Lee's had one very, very similar.
Oh dear.
And they were best friends. No, they actually look really handsome with it, strangely. But they were best friends growing up, but Matt didn't have his at the same time as Sean. It's a conspiracy waiting to happen.
That is a conspiracy.
But anyway,
Illuminati.
Talk about your day.
My day. Well, I didn't get a lot of games this year over Christmas and
do you get birthday separated from Christmas?
I do.
Or do people lump you?
No, I do get it separated because I get angry if people lump it in. Because no one else gets their birthday lumped in with another event, do they? You don't get
lumped.
Oh, this is your Valentine's Day and birthday present. Like, that doesn't happen to other people.
They should do, but in Japan they do. Is it White Day and Red Day instead of Valentine's Day?
Absolutely no idea.
Yeah, and I think this is really cool, and I'm surprised that card shops haven't clicked onto this over here. But in Japan, they have. I'm sure it's something like White Day and Red Day, and on White Day, it might be the other way around, but the lasses all get the stuff for the guys, and it sort of swaps on the opposite day, which I think is kind of cool. It means that it's all sort of super focused on the one that you love, and then they can do it back. And if they don't do it in kind, you can fuck them off. Have a like for likeometer.
It's nice. I like it. It's good. Helps combat the somewhat odd notion that Valentine's Day is all about women and commercialization. Because they got another one that matches it on the other way around. That's nice. I like it.
Yeah, I just think it's pretty cool, and I think it's less pressured as well.
Yeah.
Although maybe it's more pressured on one side, especially if, oh my god, if somebody did amazing things for you on one side of, like, say if it is White Day, if they did that for you, the serious pressure is on. I'm sure there'll be people like that must have been in relationships that go on to try and outdo each other or top each other, like every year, and then have to sell like kidneys and things.
Well, we'll get to that later.
Oh.
Yeah, actually, that would be a good link if we were there at that point. No, we'll come to that later. More on that later. Ooh. Yes, for my birthday and for Christmas, actually, I didn't actually get any video games at all. I got video game related.
So, thanks for joining us on 20 Humanities.
Yes, well, cheers. Woo! Roll the music. What I did get for my birthday, lovely Sean McElroy, friend of the show, has been on the show, in fact, a very long time ago. But one of my good pals, Sean, gave me £20 full to spend on the PlayStation Network.
What did you spend on the PlayStation Network? The PlayStation Network.
The Station of Play Network.
Your favourite video
up...
game places. Why do you love PlayStation, Paddy?
Because it's nice. You know?
I'm sure they'll be using that on all further marketing campaigns.
Because it's and then a ... and then just nice with a question mark at the end.
No, you should do a little bit of foreshadowing. Like, you could be like, it's a place where I can throw my imagination and rest my bones.
Yeah, but I don't like to throw my imagination.
Bad.
I like to shoot.
Rest your bones.
Can I
shoot? Rest. I've seen the pictures. God, this is getting bad. We'll come back to it, but remember, listeners, rest your bones.
We'll get back to it. Okay. I bought 3 video games with that money, just about, and I have things to say about all 3, and they'll be quite quick as well. So,
why?
Boom. Because I haven't played a lot of them yet. So, it's been a busy week. Christmas is hard.
You see, you're one of these people with lives.
I know, it sucks. I hate it.
You and I are complete opposites. You're like, I am a man with responsibilities. A lady wife has taken me. And I'm like, I live in a thatched mud hut. I have barely got electricity.
And I have a mortgage.
Go on.
Okay, first game I bought a game called Zombie Vikings. The game that was up for, that had that choose what PlayStation Plus game will come out.
Yeah, that's the one where I was like, I really want to play Grow Home. And
yeah, we all voted for Grow Home, and it turned out it was absolutely shit.
Although I have seen it, maybe we didn't get to measure it, because I have seen it on Brad Galloway's like top 10 of the year.
Nah, he's wrong. So, I love you, Brad. I'm sorry.
wasn't for me at all, and gave me a headache.
Same
but
here.
I do love Brad.
No, but what I did buy was Zombie Vikings, which is a game made by the guys who made, I forget the name of the studio, but they made Stick It to the Man.
Oh right, okay.
A very funny game. Same sort of art style, sort of this sort of very, very cool art that kind of like when our character raises their arm, they just kind of fold their picture up. Very sort of painterly sort of look. And it's just about some Vikings, some dead Vikings that get brought back because Loki has stolen Odin's eye, just to be a bit of a dick. Mm-hmm. He's like, I got your eye, lol, and just runs off. And Odin gets upset and summons some Vikings up, and off you go. It's fun. Like, it's good mashy. Do you ever play Castle Crashers?
No, I've seen it, and I think it's on backwards compatibility as well.
It's a bit like that.
I've not played it. It's
up to 4-player co-op. You run around. The actual characters are really cool as well. You've got like there's a woman called like Grunthild, I think, who's huge, like the Hulk, which is kind of fun. There's one who's like a raven whose name's like Cacaw. She can fly and she can birds and stuff. There's a little one called, I forget his name, but he's like the small, imagine like Animal from the Muppets, like that. He's little and he can kind of throw skulls at people for some reason. And the one I like is like, he's like an octopus man. He's like, I think he's not called Squidward because that's from SpongeBob, but it's very close to that.
Okay.
And he's got like an octopus body, and he's got a big tentacle instead of an arm. And there's like a little octopus sitting on his crotch where his crotch would be. It's quite creepy to see it squirming about as he's running about. I don't like it, but it's fun. Like, it's good mashy. Like, it's funny as well. It's really funny. You fight like a giant worm in the first level, and the worm prince. You kind of beat him up and cut him up into bits, but then all 4 bits wake up. And the worm king's like, oh, I've now got a big family. I always wanted more children. And then, hang on, wait. How am I going to afford 4 college educations? Get them! And you run away and stuff. It's fun. It's knockabout. Cool. It's silly. I liked it. Laura wasn't a big fan, but I thought it was fun.
Is it done all right? Because I always got the impression that Stick It to the Man was quite highly regarded by the people that played it, but hadn't really done gangbusters.
It's sort of, I feel like it's going to have Psychonaut syndrome, where it's going to be sort of one that it's got that look to it. Like, if you look at it, you think Psychonauts. You know, it's that kind of Double Finey kind of look to the game.
Do you think it's sort of future PlayStation Plus, and that's where it might kind of find itself, or is
possibly
selling it?
Stick It to the Man was PlayStation Plus at one point.
Eventually, though, wasn't it?
Took a while, but I bought it before that
straight away. Yeah,
cool. But I think it will be eventually, but it won't be for a while.
Wasn't it Chet and Johns were raving about Stick It to the Man? Like way ahead of time, yeah.
I think that's what got me onto it, I think.
Yeah.
And both games have been rather funny. This is definitely more action, whereas Stick It to the Man is more puzzles. But it's good, it's fun. Like I say, I've only played about 3 levels, but the 3 levels I played were good little laugh. Good fun, innit? I bought another game.
Okay.
Next game I bought. Which one should I do first? Okay, let's go this way. I bought, finally, after far too bloody long, I picked up Volume from Mike Bethel.
Yeah, I got it into my head that you had this already, and I will say before I forget it that in the this is to you, I suppose, listeners, if you want to tabang, they've Insert Coin have reduced the Volume T-shirts down to £6 each.
Ooh!
If you're enjoying it. So
right, let's just pause the podcast for a minute while I go and just click on that. Yep, okay. So yeah, like you say, I thought I would have picked that up day one for some reason, but I had a lot on my plate at the time. I think Metal Gear had just come out, and it's like, have I got room for another stealth game at this point? Probably not. But I'm glad
because I really like the look of it. And I was in the Game City audience when he first announced it at Nottingham Castle, and he got the Robin Hood historian by the side of him, and they were sort of jamming about myths and legends and whispers between common folk, and the way that those stories sort of drifted around the country, and it was proper ace, but it kind of drifted out of my eyesight a little bit. And I remember the reviews were all right, but there was a sticking point, and I think Bithell sorted that sticking point within a matter of days, I think.
Well, from what I found, I'm about, I would say, 25% of the way through now. Because usually Bithell games, they ship with 100 levels, so you can tell where you are by the percentage. Like, okay, 25 levels, 25% of the way through. Like we all expected it, it very, very much shades of like the Metal Gear first games, like the special missions type thing. Very much that. Like, you're playing in a VR environment, you're fighting VR enemies with VR scenarios, and you've got little weapons and things to use. Like, it's all about sounds and sort of like, so sightline is important as well, but you mainly kind of get around things by chucking noisy stuff or whistling or chucking a really interesting thing at a wall, and the guard just has to look at it for a minute and go, It's neat, you know. The game looks great.
Did it, having played and loved Metal Gear, give you a bit of an advantage, would you say?
A little bit. In a fact that my instinct is always to hug a wall whenever I see a bad guy come in, hug the wall. Like, that's just instinct now. Like, you hide. But I don't think you need any prior knowledge. Like, it does. Mike's Bithell's games have always been like very good at easing the player in and sort of teaching them how it works at a very good pace. Like, it's pacey, but it doesn't take forever. Like, it shows you, right, here's a thing, try and use it like this, try and use it like this, try and use it mixed with that other thing, and then it gives you a new thing. So I've had like 4 or 5 different abilities I've chucked on, you know, different powers you can pick up in the level, and each level kind of has, you start as just you, and if you have any tools to use, you pick them up as you go through the level, so you haven't got to worry about switching out 15 different items every 30 seconds. You can only carry one of them at a time as well, so it does kind of help work out, right, I need to do that bit first, then that bit, and then that bit. But it's fun. Like, there's been some real fun little weird levels in it as well. Like, because it's VR, they're like, at one point, you're like, just wanted to have fun with this one, and it's pretty much just Pac-Man. Just gems everywhere and guards walking around in little circles. It's kind of fun. They've started introducing new enemies now. Like, there's a dog that can see, like, in a 180-degree cone in front of it. So if you're stood next to it, it will see you, which is kind of fun. And it doesn't actually attack you, but it will bark and bring other things to you. So ghosting is definitely your option to get through. But like I say, I'm about, again, I've only about 2 hours into it, really. Like, I've not spent a lot of time with it, really, yet. But I really, really like it. I've one sticking point with it, and it's quite personal. So if you are listening, don't let this put you off. The voice acting is brilliant, right? It's brilliant, apart from the lead character, which is fucking terrible.
But isn't he like a famous YouTube man?
He is, and I don't think that was a good choice. It's not that he's done a bad job. I'm not sure if he's capable of a good job. Nothing in his bit has made me think, oh yeah, I like this character. Like, it's just whiny YouTube voice, and I just hate it. I hate it. It actually takes me out of it.
That was really good.
Thanks, I tried.
That was better than your normal voice.
Do you think I should talk like this for the rest of the show? Hello and welcome to Humanities. We're talking about Dark Souls.
It's volume.
I'm playing like this volume.
Yeah, but the thing is, your voice hasn't changed now.
Oh.
I lulled you.
Oh,
It
was a trick. It was a clever trick. Yeah, I like it. The voice acting does take me out of it, but the rest of the voice acting is exceptional. You've got Andy Serkis as the bad guy.
Big Jim Sterling. The Jimster, the Stirl.
Jim's in there, yep. You've also got, what's his face? Danny Wallace as the voice of the AI that helps you around.
Who's your good personal friend from Thomas is Alone.
My mate Danny Wallace.
I don't mean that you knew him, but you really loved that game.
I did love that game, and there are definitely glances in the direction of that game as you play through. There are glances, and if you've played it a bit, there's things you'll see and you'll recognise. You go, I know that.
Were you a fan of Danny Wallace in the Assassin's Creed games?
Yes, I was. Because
I can conclude, sir, that you are a fan of Danny Wallace.
I am a big fan of the Danny Wallace. Well, no, there was interesting story about that. In fact, a while ago, when I was used to go on Facebook quite a bit, there was one of these like 30 days challenges where every day you put up a picture of a video game thing you like. So it'd be like, oh, and this on day 2 is your favourite villain, and day 3 is your favourite level or favourite gun, whatever. And this one was like, oh, what character do you think most resembles you in a video game, or like you would most like to be? And I was like, well, I like Hwarang because he's got ginger hair and he can do cool kicks and that. And Laura shouted out, no, you should be that guy from Assassin's Creed because he's a bit ginger and a bit specky and a bit rubbish and no one likes him.
Here we go.
Yeah.
The truth will out. I now understand. It's nothing about his performance whatsoever. It's because he's celebrity you.
Celebrity me, unfortunately. Yeah. So yeah, volume's good. It's good. I haven't delved into any of the user-generated levels yet, but I will get there soon. And I'm really, really enjoying it. Like I'm really enjoying it. Apart from the one niggle with the voice acting, otherwise great.
YouTube man.
Hello, this is Volume.
I'm gonna have to seek out that trailer afterwards, and just so I can hear your version.
It's insipid. I hate it. Okay, and I bought another game. Right, I bought another game. This is the game we ended up playing on my birthday. And yeah, so on my birthday we went to see Star Wars. As you do. It's all right. It's okay. It's good, not great. That's all the Star Wars chat you're getting out of us today.
That's room the film bit for later on then.
Oh no. I also picked up a game that's caught my eye a while ago. That's got about £6 now. We picked up Hatterful Boyfriend.
Okay, yeah,
which is
pigeon
that game where you
dating.
try and hump a pigeon.
Okay, I'll take your word for that.
Or date a pigeon, but really you're
no, I think your latter version is probably a bit better.
Yeah, that's not how we played it. So on my birthday, we sat there and tried to decide which pigeon we liked the best. It's literally just a Japanese visual novel sort of romancy choose your adventure type thing where you kind of go to school and the school is full of pigeons and all the pigeons have a personality and they talk to you and you're the only human for some reason. It's not expanded upon yet as to why. But
are you looking at pigeons differently after playing this game? And
God,
I don't mean are you going to leave your wife for a pigeon? I mean, are you and Laura going out into the streets and going shopping and stuff and seeing a pigeon and kind of judging that pigeon against other pigeons?
Sort of. Actually, really, yeah, kind of a little bit.
You should start a Pidgetogram.
Oh.
And Instagin.
Well, you say that, right? So we're playing around the game, right? And I'm looking at.
I thought you were going to go.
Pigeons.
It's funny you should mention that because that's what we've done.
Well, no, there's some stuff in it that blew my mind a little bit. So I'm playing, and it kind of starts referencing this famous journalist that went to this school, Brian Pigeon, famous blogger. Says you should Google him. So I thought, hang on a second, wait a fucking second, and I Googled him, and they've made an entire website of the writings of Brian Pigeon.
See, this is how they win you over.
It's mad.
I know you. I know you, sir.
Right, and then so now also, so there's different pigeons and they have different personalities, right? And me and Laura have been arguing about which pigeon we like the best. So when we're choosing where to go after school, where should we go to the library where that pigeon is, or should we go to the homeroom where that pigeon is, or should we go to the gym where my favourite pigeon is? My favourite pigeon, his name is Okusan.
Okay.
And I like him because he's the one that acts like an actual pigeon. He says all his text. He's the only character I've found so far. He says "coo," and all his text is then translated behind it. And you first meet him on a racetrack, stamping a pudding into the floor because he wants a better pudding. And then,
that's your life.
Yeah,
that's
he challenges you to a
life.
race. Exactly, and he challenges you to a race, and he beats you by a country mile with like an actual kind of rockety whoosh noise to beat you. He's brilliant. He's off his nut.
Is that because of pudding?
Yeah.
Who knew?
It's all the pudding, man. And, like, it's mental. Like, we've been nearly beaten up by 3 punk pigeons called punkgins. There's a snooty, stuck-up one who's like a prince or something. There's the shy one who goes into the library. It's driving me up the wall a bit. It's mad. And when you go home at night, your character goes home at night, you seem to live in a cave, and it's never expanded upon why.
Well, because no, it's probably best not to go into that because
I don't know.
Just ruining the magic.
Yeah, I will stop there. But like, if you're going to buy it, if you're going to play it, I would advise an audience because me and Laura were just sitting on the sofa, just laughing at it. Like, it was funny and it was killing us. It was killing us.
I will interject into this that
interjection.
I saw. I love Jessica Biel, who does the Dark Souls streams, doing a stream of Until Dawn a few days back, and it was one of the best streams that I've ever seen him do. Having the audience there was fantastic. The game looks far better than I gave it credit for. Even kind of given that arc of that looks like it's going to be arse. Oh, it's quite good, is it? But actually seeing it in the real, it was far better than I thought it'd be. And I know Morbid Beard said he'd chuck it my way if I fancy playing it, but it really was good. But it's another one of those that it sounds like if you had people on the sofa, it would be a far better game because you'd be, scared together, trying to make decisions together. Yeah. And I quite like that rather than it being sort of a monster picking people off in a mansion. You've got people that with kind of different motivations. Like there was one lad in the bit that I saw who just wanted to shit his mates up, and you didn't know kind of are you behind any of this, or are you just trying to rile people? And teenagers being teenagers, they kind of quite like that and hate it at the same time. And since I've spoken about it afterwards, there've been people that have said like, oh yeah, there's loads and loads of different choices. I've been through it no end of times, and that seems to be settling around about the 15 quid mark now. Yeah,
I've noticed that hitting there, and like you say, with like an audience there, like we've got a pact almost in place with my sister. When we get it, because her other half is quite interested in it as well. So when we get it, we're going to do like a movie night almost, and sit there and play it together as a squad.
Yeah, I mean it's one of those things where I've looked at it after seeing that. I've looked at it, and I know 2 people who are big movie fans that aren't big game fans that I think I could sit on a couch, but both of them love kind of old school horror stuff. I think that they'd be absolutely transfixed by it purely because of the entertainment value, rather than it being like a video game and stuff. So yeah, I'm kind of curious to do that experiment. But I thought I'd interject there because it reminded me that it definitely did think. Sorry, it reminded me that I thought that it would be the sort of thing that you'd really love. So
from pigeon fucking to slasher films, that's a hell of a segue.
You've got a potty mouth on you today.
Yeah, it's been a big weekend. I'm tired, but however, I am resting my bones in my other birthday gift.
Resting your bones.
So imagine, right? I want you to picture in your heads.
Throw your imagination.
Listeners, listen.
Rest your bones.
Imagine
throw your imagination.
A manor house.
Throw your imagination.
A manor house with gilded furniture with all sort of swirls.
Stardust Towers.
Stardust Towers, yes. Where all the furniture is like a lovely deep green colour with wood. Imagine that, all right? Imagine a chair.
Deep mahogany.
Imagine a deep mahogany. A chair with some nice
leather-bound books.
With some funnelling around the outside, some crenellation. Then I want you to picture a deck chair, a standard deck chair, the kind that you see at a beach or a fun fair. A deck chair. Now I want you to combine those two chairs together. So you've got a sort of Elizabethan, fancy, crunnelled deck chair. That is what I got for my birthday. It is divine. It is the best chair I've ever owned. And
I thought you were leaning into something. Throw your imagination and rest your bones.
Stop. Fetch isn't going to happen. Stop it.
Rest your bones. But you said instead of going like fun fair, you went fun fair.
Fun fair, yeah.
It's like when people don't say Dark Souls, they go Dark Souls. It happens.
Does it? When?
So you wait. You'll be attuned to that now, and you go, "Excuse me, sir, I have to stop you there," and just try and sew the space up between your words a little bit. Need to apply a visual truncate silence.
A truncatador. But I'm sitting in that chair now. I've replaced my computer chair, and I'm sitting in that now, sipping a beverage. A beverage,
really?
Which I Can you guess?
So classy.
Can you guess which beverage it is?
Oh, is it some sort of Commodore Garden rat bag slammed in water in whichever cup was nearest?
No.
Also milk.
No.
What?
No, it's not. In your face.
Oh, it's in my face.
Okay, so it's my turn now. Okay, so in Portsmouth there is a company called All About Tea, a local brewers, and they make tea in the city. It's the Portsmouth Tea Company, and they make a variety of different brews based on. For some reason, they base them on the areas of like Portsmouth. So there's a Portsmouth tea, there's an Emsworth tea, there's a Fareham tea, there's an Isle of Wight tea. I don't know why. I don't know why this tea is the Fareham tea. I don't know, but it's there. But they do a variety of other blends as well. They do an English breakfast tea, they do an English dinner tea, and they also do what I'm drinking, which is a Christmas tea.
Okay, cool.
And a Christmas tea is a tea blend, and it's mixed with there's orange in it. There's some cinnamon, and you get some cloves as well. There's a really clovey sort of taste to it. Lovely smell, lovely aroma.
Are you having it without milk or with?
No, I'm having it with milk. They actually sound back that you can serve with or without. I've tried it both ways, and I prefer it with milk. It just it's creamier.
I would say as an experiment from the coffee side of things, try heating up some milk and making it a little bit frothy, and then pouring it on top of the tea, and you find that the froth sits on top of the milk quite nicely.
Is that
sits on top of the tea quite nicely, and then the tea will come through it, and you might get the best of both worlds.
So it's like a cappuccino.
That's exactly it.
Yes.
What a punchline.
I
think you might quite like that.
Down. I'm using that in the future. I'm writing that down.
If you use something like whole milk, so it froths up. Actually, even strangely enough, skimmed milk gives more of a frothy sort of head to it than semi-skimmed, which is bizarre. But I know you wouldn't put semi-skimmed in your house, so skimmed milk rather in your house.
I was going to say green's the only milk we get. I'm drinking.
Try it.
Not your common garden tea. I'm drinking a fancy one for once. It's
cool.
Tasty.
I do like my Christmas coffee. So yes, well played. In fact, I'm drinking some now.
Oh, but yeah, basically that's all the video games that I've got today because I didn't get any for Christmas. So we've talked about me enough. I'm going to throw it back at you.
Hold on.
What?
Hold on. Throw your imagination and rest your bones. Tell me about the fucking PlayStation cushions.
Okay, good. Okay, we're going there. Okay. When I say games, I mean I've got gamey stuff.
Yeah,
but no video games.
We're all in. We're all in about this.
Fuck it, right? We're in. Okay.
It's a full metal jacket.
Gee, wow, you really are playing this pipe today.
Play the pipe.
Couldn't think of a better word. All right, PlayStation cushions. Yes, my very talented wife Laura has been making things secretly in our back room and not letting me in the back room for like 2 days straight to make these things.
Those took 2 days.
A couple of days, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Applique. And what she's made, I did put a picture on Twitter.
I think he plays on the wing for Newcastle.
Yay. Whoa. That's a cut. I have PlayStation cushions. Do you know what a PlayStation cushion is? Basically a black cushion, so it's black like the buttons, and then in the different colours we've got a triangle and a circle and a square and a cross.
That's really cool.
They're amazing, and they're actually comfortable, and they look great on the sofa. We've got a nice grey sofa as well, so it looks like they almost are the face buttons on a PS1, just sitting on the sofa like that. I hadn't thought about that like that. Now I look about it, that's brilliant. all the sofa needs is a couple of handles on each side, and it's perfect.
They are really cool though.
Amazing cushions. They're really good. Yeah. And so, like you were saying earlier about people trying to outdo each other, Laura has definitely won this year.
Right, so you've got to really, really think about how you're going to outdo that. And honestly, I reckon you've got your work cut out, mate.
I might just not bother.
No, don't do that.
just give her money in a card. She loves me. So yeah, I love my PlayStation cushions. They're brilliant. Do you want to go to you next, or do you want to carry on with me?
No, I want you to tell me about this jacket. Cause
right. Okay. So hang on. I've got. Right. I wrote a big list down of things that I got. Right. So this year, Laura did go out of her way a bit. She did win super hard with a variety of Metal Gear gifts, some of which you guys know about, some of which you don't. So the first gift I received that was Metal Geary, which I'm wearing now. In fact, not the jacket. No, it's a lovely red pashmina scarf, much like Ocelot wears in Metal Gear 5. To go with that, I also have a pair of red leather gloves.
Red
leather gloves. So I think all I am is an overcoat away from an Ocelot cosplay. Like, I'm close. All I need is a duster, and I'm sorted.
I'd say.
Yeah. So yeah, like the gloves are great. The scarf I've been wearing everywhere. Like, I can't stop. It's amazing. And I've been walking around pointing out things and saying that they were Caracal sheep. And my Metal Gear fans will know what that means. But yeah, I got that, and then she also bought me. The jacket in question. She got me a jacket much like the one that Snake wears at the very end of the game. The motorbike cutscene that you've probably seen images of online. A Snake sitting there in a cool ass leather jacket, and it fits really well. Like, it does up at the top. Like, I feel like you put it on, you think, I want to put an eye patch on. I think this needs an eye patch.
Yeah, but you've got one of those. You've got an official one.
I do. I know. That's the best part. So I can walk around thinking I'm wearing my Metal Gear jacket, and no one else will know but me. But I'm thinking I might try and pair up the scarf and the gloves and see, just see if anyone goes, hang on a second.
Wait a cotton pecking minute.
But there's more. Okay, where do we go next? Okay, she also picked me up a tiny, fluffy, like a fluffy D-dog, like a little tiny husky toy, and she's made him a little eye patch.
Okay.
A little tiny D-dog with a little eye patch, which is on the right eye as well. She's done well.
Why are you going Irish?
I don't know. It happens. I can't stop it. Moving swiftly. She also managed to make. She bought, but then customised some diamond dog patches, like the sort you stick on a jacket or a sleeve or a thing. So on patches, but the important thing is she's put little diamonds on the bottom point of each one, like little diamondy jewels. Those who have finished Metal Gear know the significance. But she's put little diamond jewels in the bottom, and apparently they were an absolute bitch. So again. I'm sitting there looking at this. Like, there was a box. She gave this to me in a box. And I opened the box, and there were more things wrapped up in the box. She's like, this is your last one. I opened it, and there's 6 more. I'm like, it's not my last one. You lied. It's got the patches. Also, a little case that contains 6 metal badges. Okay? One for most of the logos, the various Foxhound and Fox and Militaire Sans Frontières organisations. In Metal Gear. So I've got a little Foxhound pin, I've got a little Fox pin, I've got a little XOF pin from Metal Gear 5. Like, I've got pins. I've got delightful pins. I've got an Outer Heaven pin, which I will be adorning on things soon. I don't know what yet, but I will be adorning them. But there's more. She also got me, right? Get this.
I'll get it.
Get this, right? she got me a custom revolver ocelot Lego man.
What?
She fished for bits individually and has put together a damn good revolver ocelot with a little bullet belt jacket on, a little beardy face, like the long kind of wizard hair, like the long grey hair, little red scarf on it as well, 2 pistols as well. Like, it's perfect. Like, it's ridiculous. And it puts together and he sits there quite happily and he looks all grumpy and it's great. It's great. Custom Lego. Custom fucking Lego. Okay. Then, right? Psycho Mantis action figure.
Okay. Wow,
right?
You've been treated, brother.
Dude, this does not end. Like, there's lots, man. And it's one of the ones from when Metal Gear 1, I believe, first came out. So it's kind of like about 6 inches tall. It's got a couple of things from it. The mask comes off. You've got like a statue, which is kind of one of the things he throws about the place as well. Really, really good, like well made as well. Really good sculpt. Looks creepy and gross. I've yet to make him stand up straight because he's quite spindly. But all I need is one of those little kind of figure stands, and I'll be able to do that soon. But yeah, Psycho Mantis bloody action figure, which I didn't even know you could get. And then last thing in the Metal Gear box, a bloody Revoltech Metal Gear 1 Solid Snake.
Wow.
Which is the Revol Mini. So he's about 4 inches tall, 4 or 5 inches tall.
Yeah.
But like ridiculously posable, like so stupidly posable, it's not even funny. You can adjust pretty much all his limbs to kind of bend properly back on each other, so you can have him in a proper like full crouch. He comes with a variety of weapons as well. You've got a SOCOM with a detachable suppressor, might we say, a tiny detachable suppressor. He's got a machine gun, the FAMAS machine gun. He's got that as well. Various different hands. One of the hands has a cigarette in it.
Well played, sir.
And that's the one that I've got him with at the moment, sitting on the shelf having a little cheeky smoky smoke. But yeah, it frankly ridiculous the amount of stuff in that box. Did I forget something? What did I forget, Laura? Yeah. So
hi, Laura.
Hi, Laura, says CJ. We're recording. No, we're recording. We'll do this later. I have no time to pass on pleasantries. This is a professional. A tiny, same scale as the Revoltech Mini Snake. Another little dog, a little husky dog with a tiny patch. And I'll let go the fact that it's not quite the same era. You know, D-Dog wasn't really with Snake; he was with Big Boss. But I'll let that go. It's the right sort of scale. It looks good. It's a good set. So yeah, that was the Metal Gear box.
Wow, that's outstanding.
Frankly, ridiculous.
You have to give me full pictures of these because I've only seen sort of part of those.
They'll be coming. Don't worry. Like I haven't had a chance to do it because we had parents around. My parents were around Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Laura's parents were around Boxing Day. So it's been a bit of a busy Christmas this year. A busy one for us, but a good one.
Sweet.
Right, I'm going to take a break from talking now because I need to put some more tea in my mouth. You, sir, what did Santa bring you?
Well, I'm not particularly a Christmas guy. My family's sort of fractured a little time around this time when I was growing up and stayed very much that way. And the bonds which are there are still a little frayed. My dad and I have spoken a few times this last month for the first time in quite some time. And he was kind enough to send me some money, which I've stuck aside to save towards a new PC. Hopefully, we'll see. But regardless, it's just me, and that sort of boing between birthday, Christmas, and New Year is something I normally struggle with quite a bit, matched to sort of dark nights and dark mornings, and these last few years, a few daft Christmas shifts. In one case this year, where I've had 4 hours of sleep between two of them.
Your shifts are dumb. Like, you tell me about them, and I sit there, and I'm not sure if you're being real with me or not.
God,
but you are.
Yeah, there was one. I think it was last Monday to Tuesday where I finished at 11:30. I got home probably about 11:45, and then you want to sit down, you want to have some food, and you want to try and relax. And before you know it, I was really forcing myself to go to sleep around about 2:00 at that point. And I had to be up at not long after 6 to get ready for the next day's shift, and I was shattered. And it just means that when you get that degree of momentum, I'm throwing myself into the next day, and it got to about 4:00 on that next day, and I hit a wall. I hit a massive wall, and it was another one of those where I got home and I had something to eat, and I was just sitting there, and 3 hours passed, and I just slipped away. I just passed out, and then it takes a while to come back around from those, and it's especially
several
when,
times, like when we've been chatting online, and you just vanish for a while, and I get a text back saying fell asleep.
Yeah,
Like-
it's very much like that, and it's you know, a lot of us not being able to do stuff is around regular shifts, but there's normally days when that's easy to accomplish. But over Christmas, things are just thrown to such extremes. It's crazy. Plus, we did get kids in threatening us this year, which you were surprised when I said kids, and I was like, no, they are about 16 to 18.
I'd expect it from like 12-year-olds, but not like grown
that was
adults. Like,
bizarre.
come on.
Apparently,
children.
they ended up getting turfed out by the police.
Wow.
So eventually, but on the day that I had off, I think they were turfed out like 6 times before they were finally cleared out, and they eventually sort of came up to the counter and they were like, "Oh, somebody's going to get hurt." But on the last night that I was in with them, they got turfed out. Took us a while to find security. And then, as I was kind of finishing mopping up for the day, they came back up the escalators into the centre and started like banging on the glass and like sticking up like middle fingers and stuff and threatening. And when there were only 2 of us in store at that point, and when Becca and I were walking out, we could see them outside the centre waiting for us. Lovely.
Toss pots.
So yeah, that was a bit poop. But anyway, so yeah, it's a strange one this time of year anyway, but I don't particularly get on with it. So I thought, well, rather than getting a little bit down and a little bit blue, when the bargains started kicking in around October time, there was, I think Amazon started doing like some really early, start of November, Amazon started doing some a long lead into Black Friday and doing some daft prices, and some of those. I started using this collateral because you could say they stuck up. What is it? You know that is it Agents of Steam, the 3DS game?
Oh, Codename
Steam. That's the one. Yeah,
that's the one. Isn't
like
it? Yeah.
like they were sticking that up for like a £5, and I'm sure you could get about 10 quid from it from Game anyway. But Game were doing 25% extra if you put it towards a new title. So
Which is mental.
So I started playing my nudges a little bit on that, and ended up. I picked up in the immediate. Then I picked up Tomb Raider, but I picked up Fallout 4 and sort of wrapped it up. Traded a few games in as well. So that was the first one. Still haven't played that one, although honestly. Secondly, strangely enough, Arkham Knight I got. So
Which is very divisive, isn't it?
I famously despised this when it first came out, and I went on a bit of a rant. The game felt clunky. I hate the art style. I had to go at the fact that they found another excuse to clear the city, and on next gen that really doesn't wash or seem sort of particularly impressive, I guess. Especially
More like
in the
Arkham
light
shite.
No, I mean in the likes of like the compared to the likes of The Witcher 3 and stuff. You know, I said at the time, show me a Gotham the Batman cares about. Show me these little interpersonal relationships and the people that he protects, and how the villains intersect that. Show me bustle. I've seen an emptied Gotham 3 times on previous iterations. You know, show me something that grabs me by the throat. And
maybe it's a metaphor. Maybe all the Batman sees is crime and criminals.
No, I just all jokes aside, I'm really interested to see that kind of texture come to Batman. So yeah, the reason I came back, I guess, was unfinished business. On that same show, we spoke about games you not click with that others did, stuff you loved that others don't, as well as those titles that you've kind of misfired with previously and then come back around to adore later. So back in May, I got Arkham Knight for 33 quid, and I sold it like soon after. Get this out of my house.
Get it away, it's poisoning the other games.
I sold it for about 30 quid, which was alright. I'd more or less
all right.
got my money back. And in the immediate, I'd seen pre-owned copies floating around about $22.99, and I thought 20 quid, I might have a pop at that. We'll see. We'll see what I'm playing. But yeah, I unfinished business, I guess. Ben Amazon stuck up the collector's edition for £35. Brand new, complete with a steelbook, art book, and this honking great Batman statue of Batman standing over Gotham, like a massive version of Batman standing over Gotham. And you put batteries in the bottom, and you switch it on, and all underneath Gotham lights up, and lights up sort of his body as well. And there were a couple of bits of DLC in there. So yeah, they got all of that for £35. So, you know, 12 quid extra. Yeah, I was like, didn't really click with it last time. So I ummed and ahed, and I didn't get it, and kind of regretted it a bit, but sort of understood. And then 2 days later, the same collector's edition came up for £25. So for £2 more than a pre-owned copy of the game, came a new one with all that swank.
That figure's worth out on its own. Like, probably, like, that's ridiculous.
I ended up getting the Arkham Origins one for about £30. Sort of similarly, and that's the one with, you know, the Batman holding Joker up, and that's a really nice statue. But yeah, it's the statue's all right. I mean, the
was hard. My one I got with Arkham City was really nice. Like the little, just really, really well put together. Looked like one of those Batman black and white statues.
Oh yeah.
Really, really nice little figure.
There's one that I've seen that the US got for Arkham Origins, and it's different to ours, and it's the Joker sitting at his desk. It's
really, I've seen that one. That looks
really,
great.
Really nice. Yeah, we didn't get that one, but
Boogers.
yeah, I've really been enjoying it thus far, like massively, like complete swing around. The art book is really nice and had me understanding the vision for Arkham City a lot more. It looks like there's a few pieces by Jock in there amongst other things. And the opening that I really didn't click with last time, or you know, the opening few hours and stuff, has been a little bit breathtaking, to be honest. So yeah, whether this is a winter game rather than a May game, you know, amidst sort of chilly nights and the darkness. I found
the dark darkness.
The dark darkness, yeah. I found myself really clicking with it, and I don't know, but I'm really finding something sort of quite compulsive and cool in there. I mean, what next? BioShock Infinite, lol.
Lol.
Although that said, I will give BioShock Infinite another go.
It was on Plus ages ago, wasn't it? So got it.
Well, it's rumoured to be due for backwards compatibility. So as when and if, I'll you know, it's a no-brainer to, you know, like, I mean, I know Deus Ex has come up for next month's Games with Gold, but you know, when you see a game like that and you're like, £2, yeah, all right then, or you know, you just think, yeah, I'll give that another bash.
Yeah, go on then.
So that was my first one, and I thought that
I need you to fill for 2 seconds while I just shut the door. So okay. Phil, go. It me.
Back.
Okay,
right.
Laura's sorting out jewellery. She had her headphones in, didn't she? She was being clinky clanky.
It's I couldn't hear anything.
Oh, well, that's a waste of time then. Yeah, good. Carry on.
So my next one, I picked up a Lunar White Xbox One pad.
I'm sorry, what? Say that again?
The Lunar White Xbox One pad.
Oh, okay, right.
My old one had a knackered down bit on the D-pad. So I'd been looking for a replacement.
Which is 25% off the D-pad.
It's true. So this one looked a touch more refined than the original, while not going quite as far as that £130 Elite model.
Duh.
They are supposed to be incredible.
Yeah, but £130 for a controller, man. Come on.
Yeah, but this is one of the funny things that I've seen online about the Elite. To introduce like a little aside, there are no end of people on M4G that are going like, and this is underneath articles where it says, pad comes in stock, goes out of stock instantly. People going like, oh, it's a ridiculous price. If it was £100, I might buy it. It's like, mate, they're making them and selling them out. Making them and selling them out. The company are doing all right by them. If you're not willing to pay £130 for a prestige model, and they admit they're not for everybody, then don't. you can get a regular joypad, or this one's kind of sits in the middle, I guess. So it looks, like I say, it looks a bit nicer. It's supposed to be 55 quid. I got it for 37 quid in a sale.
Reasonable.
Yeah. So it's porcelain white. There's gold triggers, and they've redesigned the left and right one buttons, and there's a far better D-pad on the bottom. Thank God. Plus, it's got this sort of lovely rubber grippy bit at the bottom.
Okay.
It's lovely. It's absolutely lovely. I'm a wee bit smitten with it, to be honest.
Ooh.
So that's rather nice. And also, getting it for 18 quid less than it's supposed to be.
Deal's always good. Deal's a deal.
I'm chuffed with that. So I got... I finally picked up Splatoon. I managed to get that I got that for £18 pre-owned.
Splatters.
Which is alright. I think I'll get more than that if I don't like it.
You
So I've only had a brief dalliance with it thus far, but it seems pretty good fun. That sort of game where anybody can pick up and play it, but you can see that there's a fair bit of skill in going anywhere beyond all right. And I think they've ranked it now so that the super duper people can play with the super duper people, and the sort of kids and all that kind of stuff can.
The babies.
Paint at each other. The babies. But it is a really good game. There's a lot of character to it, and it's another one of those where I played it and it got that same. If I'd have gone into this blind, not knowing who it was by, I would have said it was Insomniac.
Okay.
It's got that same kind of brightness that's there in a Ratchet and Clank or a Sunset Overdrive. It's definitely got something about it. But yeah, it's pretty good stuff I've played so far.
Oh.
So the next one was quite divisive, I guess. This was the bit that I put up with my pictures that I thought would inspire the most hate, but has only received one piece of hate mail. And I picked up Final Fantasy 13, Final Fantasy 13-2, and Lightning Returns.
Oh.
Are you hating me now?
Oh.
Right, shut up and listen.
Oh.
Shut up and listen. Shut up.
I'll grumble quieter.
Right, I do own the first two of these on PlayStation 3, I must admit. But... Pad! Right, so... Final Fantasy 13 has been a game that I forever wanted to get further into and get on more with, but haven't. In part because I was rubbish at it in the past, but I've always loved the environments, the characters, just had a really great feel for it. I just wasn't really very good at it. In my last band, the last that I wrote with, became very, very obsessed with the game. We both did with the soundtrack, but she completed the game and then uber completed it. Like literally did everything, 100%ed it, like manically completed it. Lightning and the story became very personal to her, and she even had a favourite 10 favourite tracks tattooed on her legs in Japanese. So it was I don't know, super personal to her. I love the soundtrack to pieces, but yeah, good memories of times with music. But yeah, it's another one of those where I was looking in from afar and seeing how much somebody else had got lost in something. In the immediate, I've gotten really into Xenoblade Chronicles X. That's a story for another show, but I also picked up Tales of Zestiria on PS4 for 20 quid as new, like within like this Christmas swathe as well. And I also really, really fancied that PS4 Final Fantasy VII. And after seeing the politicians of our country laughing about bombing people in another country and killing innocent people, honestly, I'm ready for big hair, bright colours, huge monsters, and daft ideas. It's been ages since I played RPGs like this, and I'm really enjoying them. I've had loads of fun with Final Fantasy 13 so far. I haven't put Zestiria on thus far. Like say, Xenoblade Chronicles X, I'm adoring to pieces, and I do really fancy that PS4 Final Fantasy 7.
It looks great. I mean, the things they put into it to make it kind of easier to play as well look amazing. Like speed the game up 3 times, brilliant.
Didn't you play Final Fantasy X on Vita not long ago?
I did, yeah. Good,
that's one that in the same regard as Final Fantasy 13. That's one of those that I reached a point with and kind of stopped. And it's another one of those where I'm in this frame of mind for just RPGs. I'm just in the partly because it's just been so long since I've got myself lost in those, and they used to be so important to me. Oh, plus I got Final Fantasy Type 0. I traded in the version of Final Fantasy Type 0 that I got and never played for something like £9 and bought in the Amazon sale for £5 Final Fantasy Type 0, but that frame edition I was telling you about, so it comes in almost like a picture frame with art cards that you can slot in on either side of it. And the picture frame is nice as a picture frame, but it also will lock around. It's big enough to lock around the game case. And that was £5.
Bloody hell.
So, yeah.
Does that come with the 13 demo?
Yes, it does.
I'd buy it for the 13 demo for that.
Well, the PS4 version knocking about at $9.99.
Sorry, 15. Sorry,
yeah, that's
15.
But the PS4 one's knocking about $9.99 now.
It's not bad.
No,
it's not bad at all.
I would in this sort of dalliance with RPGs, and because it's always kind of cool for us to do stuff together, I'd be kind of cool to start Type 0 at the same time as you, and then sort of lock heads and see what we think, because it is a bit of a long lost sort of PSP thing. But thing
with me at the minute, right? So like I've been playing Final Fantasy 9 on my Vita in sort of spits and spurts, as and when.
Oh yeah, you have. You're right.
It's not gone very far since we last talked. I've been playing other things on my phone recently. Most notably, Gridlers, which is a nonogram app. Which is that puzzle you used to get in the back of the paper where you'd have a big grid.
Oh, right, yeah.
And you sort of have, there's a 1 and a 2, which means there's a block of 1 and a block of 2. I just completed a 140 by 180 square puzzle. A picture of Tom and Jerry in the shower. My final time was 12 and a half hours. That is like toilet breaks and like being in bed and at lunch at work over the last sort of 3 weeks and putting that together. It's been a long one, but it's cute. It's Tom and Jerry in the shower and it's not creepy at all. No. But I digress. Looking at my PS4, looking at my list of things I haven't beaten that I want to beat, it would be probably irresponsible of me to buy a game of a big game, like your Fallout even. We talked about this before, like to buy that before I've at least got one of them out of the way, because like I've got so many games that are stalling. They are stalling, and like I haven't finished bloody Old Hunters DLC yet. I've beaten the first boss and I've got no further. What the fuck?
I haven't got anywhere near that yet.
Yeah, I've stumbled.
I've watched it.
Yeah, I haven't. I've been trying to keep clear, but like all the YouTube people are putting stuff up now, and it's getting harder to avoid. So I need to get on with it.
Yeah, I'm seeing. I mean, it's a really big hook for me, seeing how much Jay Taylor's enjoyed Witcher 3 as well, because he's now canoned. I know when I last spoke to him, he was going through the game again, having finished it, and now he's canoned through the first of the DLCs and loved that to pieces as well.
Yeah.
So.
See, that's another one I need to get on with. Like Dark Souls, I need to get on with. Like, I need to get on with so many games.
Yeah,
they're just looking at me funny all the time now.
We should get back to that Dark Souls 2. It'd be fun to stream that in the new year,
We could do that.
Yeah, I'd be
Souls
up
and
for
chill.
doing that. Because then that way, because we're always talking about that game in retrospect. At least if we did it on YouTube, people would then be able to go and find the video afterwards.
Yeah,
sorry, not on YouTube, on Twitch.
On Twitch.
So yeah,
we can export to YouTube from Twitch. Look at us doing planning work in the middle of a show. We're great.
What is this? What is this like?
There is no life behind the curtain. This is the curtain.
I'm quite into my JRPGs now. Plus, back when I had my Vita, I enjoyed going back through some of those early, like 7, 8, 9 PlayStation ones. But I remember at the time people saying that, well, why are you bringing the PAL version to the PS3 when you could be bringing us the NTSC version, which runs faster? And I think that's part of the allure with Final Fantasy VII on PS4, that it will actually be running at the same clip as the American one originally did.
Yeah, but like, I mean, having lived in PAL since I was born. That comes up. People talk about that sort of thing quite a lot, and it never, like I always say, was that a problem? And once you see them running side by side, it's like fair enough. But like I've never known any different. Like, it's not an issue for me.
I'd say if it was something like an RPG like Final Fantasy VII, it'd be nice to kind of bomb along a little bit faster. If it's something like, I don't know, I remember seeing when Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil Nemesis were ported onto the Dreamcast and then to the GameCube. Like you got this run which was like a steady run on the PS2, and then you just absolutely hammer along on the Dreamcast, and it'd be like, rather than it taking you like about 30 seconds to get across a room, it'd be like, and it's like, nah man, you're moving too fast, and I don't think it's right.
Oh wow!
So yeah,
that's a deep cut.
It's not going to be like that, but it would be nice to see games as they were originally intended, rather than slowed down, especially in this.
Who's to say it wasn't sped up?
It's not the case, is it?
Maybe they were intended to be slow. Maybe it was always pacier like that. I don't know. It doesn't. It's never offended me before. I'm fine. But this new, going back to the PS4 version of 7, like the 3x speed improver, you know, the button that lets you heal everyone in case you're screwed up or give you all limit breaks. Like, fine. That's like, let the person beat the game in lieu of kind of adding in an entire like easy mode or whatever. Just like give someone the tools to smash through it if they really want. Like,
yeah,
it's brilliant. Love it. Big fan.
So my final one was I picked up Skylanders Superchargers and a Fiesta figure. This one was back in October. It was £35, so it was going for $49.99 on August, but Amazon did it for $35. Plus, they were giving you an extra figure, a choice of an extra figure, which was worth £15. So yeah, all right then. So a big part of last year for me was Skylanders Swap Force.
It was,
and the amazing Kane and Rince podcast, which inspired purchasing it rather. I've been playing it again recently, so rather fancy Superchargers. It's the same developer, especially at what worked out at £20. And when I was playing, you'll like this. When I was playing Swap Force the other day, they introduced this enemy on this snow level, and there's snow going all around him, and these unseen hands put a hat on it and gave it a mug of cocoa. And this was, and it was just like, like shook them off. And the boss battle at the end was a song and dance number with puppets.
Right,
which was a character called Mesmeralda, who was absolutely fantastic, and I was killing myself laughing when I was playing it. And there was between like the verses where she was sort of attacking you with all these like puppets that were popping up across the level. The music would be going like dum 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 dum, like as if it was before the next verse, and she was going like, "Oh, what are you doing? You'll never get me alive," and all this sort of stuff. Oh, now it's 200. Like cracked back into like this song for the level, but it was amazing. It was so much fun, and obviously now the figures have dropped to as little as £1 now. I've got quite a few. I think it was Smith's Toys was selling the Wii U starter pack last week, brand new, which comes with the Portal, the game, and 3 figures for £1.
What?
Yeah. So I think they were selling the Wii U version, the Xbox 360, and the PlayStation 3 version.
That's insane.
I'd still like you to pick up that starter pack for PS4, simply because I think you can go through the game with the characters that are in the box, but I think it'll remind you such a lot of Ratchet and Clank. I just think that you'll have such a laugh with it because it's so funny and so well written. And most of the times, the stuff that's sort of sectioned off for other characters are just little kind of bonus levels and stuff, which are quite nice in of themselves, but not essential. But I like I say, I just think you'd have fun with it more than anything. So
yeah. Well, speaking of toysy things, I do own an amiibo now.
Oh right, why?
I own one amiibo. I don't have a Wii U or 3DS or anything that will connect to it. But I was Christmas shopping the other day, and I was in game, and they had a bucket, like the bucket of assorted toys, Skylanders and whatever. and I saw a little leg sticking out. I thought, I know that foot. And I picked it up. And I've got a Captain Falcon amiibo now.
Cool.
It's the only one I want. It is the only one I ever wanted. He's my bro in Smash Brothers. He's always who I've played. It's all about showing me your moves. Like I've got a Falcon amiibo. I have an amiibo.
I own one amiibo as well, but I own Shulk from Xenoblade Chronicles, the original one.
That's the one that has the pants outfit, right?
Let's what?
The one that has the sexy pants outfit.
What's the sexy pants outfit?
You haven't seen that? It's got the one with the hole in the sword, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So in the game,
down to its basic parts.
it's bought with a hole in the sword. It's like how you can section out Final Fantasy games. The one with the big sword, the one with the gun sword, the one with the water sword. It's easy. Yeah, there's like a sexy pants outfit for him where he's just sort of in swimwear for Smash Bros. I'm sure it is.
Okay.
I didn't dream it.
Let's see, John, towards the side on that because I saw on the net the other day that Nintendo is bringing over the Japanese controller for Pokken.
Ooh.
The Tekken Pokemon fighting game.
Yeah, man.
Which looks really good, and I wondered if that might kind of raise a bit of an eyebrow with you because that's pretty cool.
I've not been keeping up with news the last few days. Would you believe? It's been hard.
I've seen the arcade version a few times on different YouTube channels that I'm subscribed to, and it seems to be very popular and highly regarded. But yeah, a mixture of Pokemon and Tekken is both one of those things where you go, that's a pretty natural fit, but also you go, what? So, and they're bringing over like a specific controller for it as well. Which is really cool. Yeah, which is really cool. And it's quite a nice little looking controller as well. Because, they did the thing with Smash Brothers where they allowed you to use original GameCube controllers and they made new GameCube controllers. Because it was the best one to
it's the only thing to play Smash with,
yeah. And they did like variants like Luigi and Pokemon, like Pikachu ones, and like various different specials for those pads. But yeah, they're bringing over a specific Pokken pad, which is pretty cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Does it look different at all? Is it particularly?
Let me see if I can bring it up.
So you say that, I'm going to have to search it at the same time now as well. So
yeah, I was going to send you a link, but it's probably easiest for. Yeah, I think it's called the Hori Pokken Tournament Pro Pad. Yeah, you can see it. It's a really weird looking motherfucker. Just put Pokken pad into Google.
Weird.
Yeah, and I mean that in the best way.
That is bloody weird.
But if you look across on, I love that it lights up. But if you look across to the arcade machine, they're the ones that are attached to the arcade machine as well. So if you are good at that game in the arcade, you are going to be good at that game at home because it's exactly the same pad. And
the reverse as well.
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't know if I like it or not.
I do, because it looks like something that is timeless.
I like its styling, but I don't know if I like its moves.
Also, but if it works like that in the arcades, and it's been designed like that to work as best as possible with the game, isn't it cool that that's exactly what they're bringing over for the home versions of it? Yeah,
I guess.
I like it.
What's different about it? Is there anything
it
different
looks
about
cool.
it?
It lights up at the bottom, and it looks
there
good.
You go. Yeah, okay, that's it. Right.
Yeah, look at the lights.
There's
Switch
the
all the lights in your house off.
There's its USP.
Yeah, there we go. Right. So, have you seen any films?
Have I seen any films?
Yes.
I saw one film this week. I went to the cinema to watch a film. I saw The Force Wakes Up.
Yeah, is it good? I haven't seen it yet. I might go and see it tomorrow.
Right, so maybe. My commentary isn't going to be much more than what we did earlier, to be honest.
Yeah, no spoilers.
It's good. I don't think it's great. I understand the hype going in. I don't understand hype coming out.
Okay.
Me and Laura came out and we looked at each other and went, huh.
It's nice to see so many people happy, though.
Yeah, it's a good film.
Especially the misery that was spread by that human bearded sausage, George Lucas, with the last 3 efforts that he did.
Yeah. we can't talk about this yet. We can't. I can't talk about this at all.
Thank you.
We'll to go see it. We'll talk later. But I don't want to ruin it for the listeners either, who I'm sure have all seen it at this point. But we'll talk at length later.
I saw Big Hero 6 yesterday, and it's amazing. I loved it to pieces.
I've been meaning to catch it, but it's been kind of out of the... Is it on Netflix or anything yet, or is it still miles away yet?
It's just turned up on Now TV. And I think Now TV have got an offer on at the minute that you get 3 months for $3.99.
It's not terrible.
I'll send you the link because they've got some big Christmas films on as well at the minute. But it went up on there, and it's another one of those that I've been wanting to see for a long time. But just tons of heart, really well written, brilliant superhero film. Properly sobbed my socks off as well. Loved it to pieces. Really, really great film. Watched Age of Ultron between last night and today. I was very ill when I came home last night and hated the opening 20 minutes of Age of Ultron. Absolutely hated it. And coming to a big budget American live action movie after all the tokusatsu stuff that I've been watching, everything just seemed colour corrected within an inch of its life. And
by which you mean desaturated?
Yeah, no, it's just that everything seemed so fine-tuned. And, like, the CG still looks shit. It might be more expensive shit, but it still looked like rubber men being thrown around a forest. And while it might not have been the sort of CG that looked like it was created on a PS3, it was still shit CG. And I didn't get on with it at all. And put it on again this afternoon when I was having my dinner and enjoyed it. But wasn't overawed by it, but was entertained. So fair enough.
I've had a bit of a weird time with TV as well. I popped on, been watching Space Dandy again because we've kind of finished all our shows we've watched now.
Yeah, cool.
We're kind of at a point now where we're kind of loose again, so I popped on Space Dandy again because I thought it was great. Again, brilliant. But over the yesterday, we had Laura's parents round, and they don't mind a bit of the anime. They like Cowboy Bebop, that sort of thing. So we're sort of looking for something to do to fill the gap because we were waiting for the Lego programme to come on at 8 o'clock on Channel 4 about the Lego factory at Christmas, which was cool in its own right. But like we think, you just sort of shouted, go put on Netflix, and they went, "What on earth is that? Space Dandy?" Went, yeah, go on, let's watch it. They hated it.
Wow. Okay.
It's like, it was just noise and colour, no plot. It's like, but it was fun. It's fun. I've been banging through Dandy again, and it's just as fun the second time. It's a weird show. It knows it's weird. At least 2 episodes so far have ended with most of the characters being dead.
Because you know that there's Morgan and Lagan coming as well.
Apparently apparently that's wrong. Apparently they're just re-showing it on telly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got sad when I read that.
Yeah, but that's both a shame and all right.
But where would you go from that?
I don't know. But the
what
guy's
could
a
you
genius.
Possibly do?
The guy is a genius. I mean, it's very divisive, but I love Kill la Kill.
Yeah. But do you know what I've been watching on telly this afternoon with my dinner? Another thing I got for Christmas, right? Do you know what I watched with my dinner?
Tell me.
Fucking Thunderbirds, mate.
Cool. And I believe there was a revelation from your now ex-wife.
Right, yeah, we had a divorce. It's all the paperwork's gone through now. Right,
what could facilitate such a massive decision in your lives? Did she not like the mole or something, lol?
Well, it's funny you say that, actually. We're sitting there, we're chatting away, right? And you've got the Thunderbird 2-bit doing, where all the different kind of Thunderbird pods go underneath it, like number 1, like, number 1's got those in it, yeah. Number 2, I think number 2 was the mole, wasn't it? Number 3 gets those. And Laura went, didn't like the mole, and I looked at her and I went, what? She went, I didn't like the mole. I said,
Paddy, she's made you those cushions. You can't.
Yeah, but she doesn't like the mole.
But the cushions, the Metal Gear mods.
It's the best one. It's a cool guy with a drill on the front, and it goes through the middle. Like, why don't you? Who couldn't like the mole?
I wouldn't say it's the best one.
Oh, what? Hang, whoa. To be fair, it's been quite funny watching it back, like, you know, with the benefit of age, you know, being sad for poor Alan Tracy, who's just sort of stuck up in space.
Also stuck with a man's and a lady's name glued together.
Yeah. Something to see for all of them.
I will interject that Super Sentai Gokaiger Silver has a vehicle that looks like them all from Thunderbirds that transforms into a giant T-Rex, but
Wow.
also has a drill on its hand.
Oh, bust
Yeah.
through the heavens.
I am gonna siege into the best film that I've seen of late, which was Super Sentai Gokaiger versus Space Sheriff Gavan, which was just awesome. That was just so much fun, but also the lead-in was sheer genius and did something that I've never seen a film do ever, and will probably never do again. But it was awesome. You got like the big battle at the start between like Super Sentai Gokaiger and Gavan, with Gavan's ship and like the galleon from Gokaiger like going through Tokyo and like fighting between buildings and stuff.
Right.
Gavan's ship sort of shoots down the Gokaigers, big battle ensues, and then you realise that it's not the new Space Sheriff Gavan, it's the original guy from the 80s, which is like, ho, because he's so cool.
Do you know, like, I've heard you say, these last few chats we've had, I've heard you say original guy from the 80s more times than I think I've heard you say Dark Souls.
I love Space Sheriff Gavan so much.
But you're saying that, and all I can see is Gavlan.
No, but it's not true.
Gavlan's base.
Right. No, Space Sheriff Gavan's awesome. But they have this big battle, and Gavan captures the Gokaigers, and he takes them to this meeting with this sort of enemy force who and this meeting is in the middle of a basketball court or something.
Of course,
it's
it
really
is.
quite bizarre, but like this massive like stadium. So they've clearly gone right, because they're amazing at getting natural locations for stuff rather than building sets. So they end up getting strung up by chains and like raised up on this platform, and this guy from this Space Federation's going to execute them, and it turns out that Gavan is onto this and realizes that somebody's been posing as the head of the Space Federation, and presses this button, and all the manacles like click open and drop just as all the bullets start firing and stuff. And he goes to battle this the bloke from the Space Federation, and the bloke from the Space Federation basically unleashes something that he calls Gavan Bootleg, which is a version of Space Sheriff Gavan that's a complete robot that knows all of his moves to fight him, and captures him in a headlock and pulls him into the Maku dimension. Like, the Maku dimension is this evil dimension that's I believe is forged from the blood of legendary villain Don Horror.
What?
Which is the greatest name for a villain ever. And Gavan has been taken to this Maku prison that nobody's ever escaped from. So you're thinking, like, how is anybody going to get into the Maku dimension to start off with, and how are they going to break into this prison? I'll tell you how. The guy that plays Space Sheriff Gavan has played 2 different roles in various Super Sentai films. And they meet up with those 2 people who they acknowledge look a lot like Space Sheriff Gavan.
Okay.
And they use those 2 people, who are all played by the same actor. They use those 2 people to open a portal up to the Maku dimension to go and get the other guy. How cool is that?
What?
Yeah. And it was just a joy. There's a link into kind of one of the origins of one of the characters, Captain Marvelous from Gokaigers, which was really, really touching and really cool. And it was just bonkers as anything. And seeing like Gavan fight Gavan Bootleg was just fantastic. And the fact that it called him Gavan Bootleg is amazing. But it was a joy. It was an absolute joy. Bonkers as fuck. And at the end, when they said their goodbyes, they basically said to these guys, "Oh, the actor was playing all 3 sort of characters. He was like, "Oh, we do look alike, don't we?" And they're like, "How do you tell them apart?" And one of them's like, "This guy smells like the savannah. This guy smells like the Orient." And they were like, "Whoa." Seeing as we've never seen you together before, will you transform together? And they all transform into like their original characters, which is like really, really cool. But it was ace, and I loved it to pieces. And I also saw, it's not a movie, but I also saw episode 1 of Garo, this morning, which is a TV show from it's about 11 years old, and they've done like a few of the bits from it since, and I believe there's going to be a brand new series next year. But it's basically kind of like a cross between it is a tokusatsu show, but set in the real world, but like a cross between Batman and Castlevania.
Right.
It's a bit pervy. The CG's not particularly great at the time. It's in 4:3, the episode that I watched, but there are moments where you just go, "That is super cool." The lead guy is very, very serious in his role, wears the most beautiful jacket, and is essentially the armor that he wears makes him look like a giant gold lion.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's awesome. Okay. So I watched the first one of those, and I'm like, we'll watch this again. So yeah, my tokusatsu love continues to deepen.
Yes.
But we said in like a recent conversation that I know you love wrestling.
Oh, I love wrestling.
You've kind of been quite interested in this sort of stuff, and I think that you might kind of get it. So it'd be cool to sort of chuck a few bits at you and see what you make of it.
I'm a big fan of man's pretending to punch each other. Not a big fan of actual boxing or like UFC or anything like that. I like it when men's pretend to hurt each other.
There's something about the tokusatsu stuff, and I was in comparison to Age of Ultron, like they'll have people like, say a Kamen Rider meet up with Space Sheriff Gavan or one of the Super Sentais and stuff, and they'll have them fight in like a car park, or they'll have them fight on a building site, and it's the equivalent of when you were a little kid and you go out to play and you go into like there's some sand up there and I could jump off there, and the special effects people are amazing. The wire work is incredible. And they walk up to like a massive set of stairs, and they were like, what if we had an enemy on every platform, and then one of them right at the top, and Yellow Gokaiger fires up a grappling hook, pulls one of them down, and then she goes up as the other one goes down, and she shoots every one of them on the level going on. It's like, yeah, give me that every day of the week over fucking wanky, super saccharine, overthought, multi-million-dollar CGI every day of the week. But yeah, it's ace. I love it to pieces. So no.
Yeah.
What was the best Christmas present you ever had?
Ever had?
Ever had? Like ever?
Christ, that's hard.
Ever?
I hadn't thought. Okay.
I just thought I'd chuck that in there.
Shit, I wasn't ready. I would say it's probably a bit of a cop-out answer because it was a combination gift. But my Metal Gear 3 Snake statue.
Yeah, that is very cool.
Blew my goddamn mind. If we're talking about gamey Christmas presents, the best gamey one I've had, I think it might have been when I got my PS1 actually, because I wasn't expecting it. I was not expecting it at all. And then suddenly, here's PS1 with actual soccer and Ridge Racer 1. It's like, wow, okay, cool. I mean, at that point, I was at 11 and voluntarily hugged my parents. Which is something I thought I'd grown out of at that point. Mm-hmm. Being, I'm a grown up now. I don't do any of that stuff. No, I'm a grown up now. But no, I think I did. Yeah, no, I did. A lot of my kind of favourite kind of Christmas memories about the PS1. God, because there was the one year where I scared my mum shitless. It was amazing. So I'd asked for Final Fantasy 9 for Christmas. Right? Because I'd obviously see it looked amazing. I was like, yeah, I need that. That looks brilliant. But I'd never actually played... I'd played 7. I'd never picked up 8. I played a bit of the second disc of 8, but because someone lent me the wrong disc, and it was like I kind of had a save that I found somewhere, and it was I didn't understand it. It didn't understand it. So like a week before Christmas, I went out and I picked up Final Fantasy 8. I found it for like 10 or something. I was like, oh yeah, 10 quid, brilliant. I'll buy that, brilliant. Took it home and was like, oh, all right, Mum, where you been? Just been out shopping. Well, I just picked up a couple of things. What'd you get? Oh, I got this. And she went, what? And I sort of showed her. I went, there, look, Final Fantasy. She went, what? Is that the new one? I went, I looked at her, I went, no, it's the one from last year. And she went, oh, okay, fine. And turned around like nothing was wrong. I went, I know what you bought me. And then getting that and then just immersing myself in that. And I remember getting Tekken 3 one year as well and having everything unlocked within 2 hours. Just went upstairs and just did nothing but Tekken 3. I was like, right, Van Octil now, who wants to fight me? And no one would. But yeah, all my best Christmas memories, for games-wise anyway, are a PS1, man.
I would say my best Christmas present ever as a child was probably Steve Austin, the $6 Million Man doll. Which was awesome. You could look through the back of his head and see a magnified view from his bionic eye. And also, if you had the strength of 1 million people, you could roll up the rubber sleeve on his arm and get to the plastic circuits that you could pull out of there. He was a robot man. And I think I even had like the moon buggy as well, which was kind of cool that you set him in. But gaming-wise, I'd probably say Commodore 64.
Ooh.
Obviously, because it's informed my life, and I love it very much to this day.
So,
Feedback.
Feed.
Sorry,
It sounded like there'd be a music sting there.
Yeah, no.
Feedback. Blang.
Right. So we have Twitter stuff, we have email stuff. And then we have a quandary on the end of it. And this stuff is going to be all over the place. So we shall see sort of tonally. And I've looked at some of these. You've looked at some of these. We've not looked at all of them. Do you have a Twitter feed up?
No.
Or right, I shall read through all the Twitter ones.
You do that, yeah, it's fine.
All right. So Chris Marsha says, hold on, I've got to find the way.
Chris says, part 5. Wait, hang on.
Hold on, he's not linked these in, so let me see how these go.
Chris,
because he's just put like C's and brackets on the end of them, and it's difficult to.
He's moshed it.
Oh God, don't do that. Right,
we've turned him into a verb.
I think I might have to go to Chris's profile to see which way these flow.
We told you this episode would be all over the place, and we have delivered.
Yeah, there's a man hugging a giant pumpkin.
In your face!
You see, he's got some nice Christmas presents.
He's got some lovely presents, I've saw.
Yeah, I didn't see those at the time. Filling in. Right, Chris.
Don't you look at my presents.
Right, he's talking to you. He's talking to Morbid Beard. Here we go. I think this is it. This year tops it in many ways. The Dot Hack series was something I loved and played a great deal on my PS2 days. And in many ways, the series brought me and my best friend close together. I missed the chance to own the 4th in the series, and now Dot Hack Quarantine is rare and runs for about $200 to $300 online. This year, my girlfriend managed to find me a copy, thus completing my collection, restoring something in me and my friendship with my best friend in some symbolic way. And she doesn't even like video games. Okay, I'm done tweeting now. Looking forward to the show, guys. I should have prefixed this by saying that in the message it says tell tales over your Xmas prezzies, favourite moments as a blighter, best toy you ever received. So it's basically anything goes.
Oi, tell us about Christmas, yo.
Yeah. Out like that. Out. So that's cool. Thank you, Uncle Chris.
Thanks, Chris. Chris of the Chris of the Chomp Chain podcast, of course. We should mention. Go follow them, Podcast Chomp.
Well, everybody that knows that should be listening to them anyway now.
There should be, but they might not be.
Paddy, hush! It's Morbid Beard, Josh Crow.
Again, I feel like there should be a music here.
Josh Crow. Sing it with me.
Josh Crow.
There we go.
I hope that works in the edit.
Yeah.
Edit.
I don't think it worked in my ears. I remember many years ago being given Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone on the PS1 Christmas morning, which was an okay way to keep me quiet for a few hours. I thought it was pretty cool, and was then presented with a huge confetti-filled box which consumed mesum.
I think he meant to type me there.
Which consumed me, okay, yeah.
Yep.
But I returned from the depths clutching a PS2 and 5 games.
Hey.
It was like running a gauntlet and returning to my home village, beaten, bruised and blue, but victorious in my quest. That was by far the best Christmas ever. There's no feeling quite like getting a brand new console Christmas Day. It's a magical feeling, full of wonder for the new generation that you couldn't wait to show your friends.
Wow. Imagine making someone play Harry Potter on the PS1 before they get their real present. Wow.
Oh, and then he says...
that's brilliant.
Also,
I love it.
then he says, also, third tweet is meant to be me, not Mesm. I don't even know how that happened. Guess I was reliving it too fast. That's what Mesm does for you. Remember, kids, don't do Mesm.
Oh. That's really cool. I never had many trick presents when I was little. Like I had one from my auntie one year. I think I was about 12, and I got a kettle, like a kettle. And I was like, oh, okay,
What?
here's a kettle. That auntie was a bit weird. And I
Now
was like,
make me a cup of tea.
yeah, like
Me and your sisters are going on a ball. Cinder, Starlusterella,
that's good. It's good. It's good.
Cinder Smith.
But yeah, I got this kettle and I was like, oh, okay, that's weird. Mum and Dad looked at me and went, oh, okay, that is weird. Put it to one side, forgot about it. 4 hours later, I opened the box, there was a basketball inside.
What?
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay. Oh, I see what she's done. Ha.
You filled it with water, and then
Obviously, she was upset that I
put
think
it
the
on
plan
to
was
boil.
I'd be all
Put it on
excited.
to-
Yeah.
You put it on to boil, and it just ruined Metal Gear Solid 1.
But yeah,
Christmas
I remember
memories.
that. I remember it because it was like, oh yeah, like of course I'm going to excitedly open my kettle. Like, oh, look, can we plug it in? Can we make a tea? Oh yeah, like it was
Still.
bizarre, really
Still
bizarre.
a-
And, like, 'cause I was 12, I was like, why?
A basketball. Where did you grow up? 1952.
Hey, I was
Hey.
all right at it for like a year. I was taller than other kids for like a year, and that was the year I was good at basketball. And then they all caught up, and then I just yeah, I'm crap.
You backed away from the NBA because it was all about money.
I know, right? I wanted to keep it more real, like on the street.
Right, shush, it's Gav. Tied to the nail.
Which Gav? Yeah, very important to specify.
It's tied to the nail.
No.
My other half surprised me with a copy of Rise of the Tomb Raider. Xbox exclusive.
now.
And it's fucking brilliant. So there, love you boys. Love you too, man. Love your girlfriend.
Yeah, he
Great
got
choice.
me earlier. He put up a bloody picture of someone sitting by a fire with bonfire lit on it. And I couldn't quite place what it was, and I didn't realise it was Tomb Raider for like 3 minutes,
Well played, sir.
which he
Well
was
played.
happy with because
You-
that was how
you-
yeah.
You couldn't notice it because it wasn't on PlayStation.
Well, I saw the Xbox buttons at the bottom, and I'm like, I don't understand what he's done there. What is this? I don't recognise that. Souls don't put buttons up like that.
Push! It's Glenn Mooney. I decided not to play anything new before Dark Souls 3. Instead, decided to
Ooh.
platinum all its predecessors, almost on DS. Oh, I've still not done that. Still not platinumed. Or 100%.
I ain't platinumed any of them.
Previous one.
I haven't platinumed none of them.
Didn't you platinum Bloodborne?
No,
Didn't you not?
no, mate. I beat it, and then I just kind of sort of did a little bit more, and then I kind of left it.
Mhm. Clifford Goldsmith.
Cliff Notes on Twitter.
Goldsmith. Said my most amazing present this year. Vader had surprised me and sent me a copy of the Old Hunter's Collector's Guide. As you knew, I couldn't afford it, so very blown away by his generosity. That's really cool.
Oh, that is neat. I saw that,
Vader's
and
lovely.
right. I saw the picture that came up as well. Not only that, he also got a copy of one of the Harry McClary books for his kiddie. Right, so when I was little, right, my mum would read us Harry McClary books. It was a weird book about like a sort of Scottish sort of dog called Harry McClary.
Are you
Brilliant.
sure you didn't grow up in 1952?
I swear to God, my mum worked in a library, but my sister really liked them, and I was kind of a little bit old, but like my sister really, really liked them, and I remember them. They're really, really good books, and I was like, oh, Harry McClary. I told my mum the other day, she was like, oh.
I will state that Vader Van Oden got an Xbox One for Christmas and a bunch of games, so I've been running him through all of that sort of gubbins and trying to make it a little easier. Well played, sir.
But that's Cliff and Bader who do Dark Insight podcast, which
Yeah.
is good. You should listen.
CVO, as they're not called. Spug Northerson says, oh no, this is in response to the quandary later on, and I've caused ruckus with that quandary.
Okay,
So
we shall return to quandary.
Are you aware of the quandary?
I think I've briefly seen it. I haven't delved. I'm
I haven't
aware that
checked the
there is.
results
I'm aware
either.
that there is Twitter heat, but I've not delved too deeply yet. I haven't
Honestly.
actually.
Wouldn't it be quite sad that we do a game podcast and the first point we put on like, tell me about vegetables, and people are like, fuck that noise! I hate that vegetable! It's just like, it's a roller coaster. Life is a roller coaster. Just gotta grade it. Yeah, to the emails. Do you have your email up?
No,
Right? Am I reading all of these again?
You can.
Right.
I'm happy. I'm being a reaction video. I'm just taking your video and reacting to it and putting it up as my own and getting more views.
I am going to read something that came in for us a little while ago, and we missed it for the last the Humanities. So a slight aside then.
Slight
what's
ways. That was Laura in the background trying very quietly to have cheese and crackers and failing.
What she did? She having glass crackers?
She has, glass crackers.
Glass crackers, can't get to sleep.
It's a good band name.
Got a fever of 103.
Come on,
right,
baby,
so,
put your cover in cheese.
So this actually came in on October the 14th, but I promised we'd read it out.
Speedy replies.
I forgot the last time.
Yep.
So it's from Callum Ferguson, who said, "Greetings, CD and Paddy from the fair northerly land of Liverpool." No, I'm not doing the accent. Thanks for reading out my anime questions last time. I wasn't expecting such a lengthy answer, not a lusty answer.
A lusty answer. Love anime.
Yeah. That's sounding like the Sam's impression.
I just thought...
I did talk in Miyazaki, but anyway.
Love anime.
I wasn't expecting such a lengthy answer, and I'm glad we share some taste. I too watched Gangster, and I'm considering picking up Fafner once I finish watching Cowboy Bebop 17 years later. CJ, what do you think of the finale of Gangster? I didn't see it past about episode 6, sadly, because I got lost in the wood of Tokusatsu. I loved the series. It was probably my favourite of the summer season, but I'm disappointed that it ended on such a large cliffhanger. It was as if the whole season was building up to something we're not going to get for a while, and we're actually probably not going to get at all now because the anime company's gone bust, which is really sad. Also, I'm glad to hear Paddy tipping his toe into the waters with that wrestling anime. Was it Kinnikuman or Muscle Man?
Ultimate Muscle?
Yeah.
Yeah, we blasted through that. Well, I say we. Laura blasted through that without me. I came home one day, she was 10 episodes ahead.
I remember you saying.
Which I was upset about at the time because she made me miss the episode with the man who had a toilet. No, a bum for a face, and he was French and he was called Monsieur Cheeahz. She made me miss that episode, and I will never forgive her.
And likewise, CJ tipping his toes into the Metal Gear waters, which I have to return to. Speaking of which, questions, Paddy. Do you have a favourite soldier name on Metal Gear Solid 5?
Oh God, this has been a while ago now. I had a couple. The one I used to use as my guy to run around with was Bastard Dingo. Mm-hmm. Like, and he actually came out like ginger with a little beard as well. I was like, right, he's my guy. Yep, perfect.
Nice.
You'll do. Do you know, it's been a while now, and I kind of forget them. There were some funny ones. I know there were some.
No, that was a pretty good one.
Yeah, I saw one floating around Twitter, which was, and the caption was, "Boss, can I change my name?" And Boss says no. The guy's name was Hungry Hippo.
No, it's not as good as yours.
Yeah, Bastard
Not as
Dingo's
good
good.
as
I think everyone finds their bastard one, and that's the one they use first. Like, bastard animal.
Callum goes on to say, I have an S plus rank intel soldier called Crying Slug, who always makes me giggle. Who's your favourite character in Metal Gear Solid 5?
Ooh, in 5? Oh, now I've been through it again. This is like having to think back now. I really like Ocelot. For the simple reason that this is his year off where he just phoned Snake about sheep and just hung out and told him about wildlife for a year. Took a year off from all this backstabby spy stuff, you know, and just sort of hung out and said, hey, well, it's the sheep. Don't eat that sheep. It's bad for you. Don't eat it. Don't do it. And that's why I liked him. It makes me laugh. Every time I see him, I phone him about an animal, it's going to be a little bit funny. And I like that. But to be fair, the Metal Gear cast was all pretty damn good across the board.
Pretty damn good.
And anything more than that is Spoiler Town. So
Spoiler Town?
I was a big fan of when Redacted did the Redacted thing.
Yeah, I thought you might. Anyway, Callum goes on to say, Code Talker is pretty rad, and I have a little soft spot for Huey. He's so lame and adorable. By the way, I've never played the original Metal Gear Solid, but I do own Twin Snakes, but I have yet to play it. Why are you so vehemently opposed to it?
Right, I can sum up. It's very simple. I don't need to
Moving
talk
on.
about the game. You know when they remade Total Recall?
Yeah.
That.
Okay.
Yeah.
Callum continues. Most people just say that the first person made it stupidly easy, But other than that, I've never heard anyone dislike it as much as you. In theory, would it be the same game if I were to play it and never use first person? Or are there other aspects that make it less than stellar?
Yep. Yep, there are other aspects that make it less than stellar. The goddamn, like, the cutscenes where Snake does ninja backflips, and, like, it's like the guys that have done the cutscenes have just seen The Matrix, and they're like, ooh, we can do that. Ooh.
It is the guy that did... I think all the cutscenes were done by the guy that did indie Japanese film Versus, which I love.
But it worked in that film. That film was brilliant.
But it was bonkers.
It doesn't work in this particular avenue.
Did you ever hear about the accident that happened on set with that film?
No.
That there was a bit where they were doing an action sequence, and they threw a gun up, and the guy had to like catch a gun in his mouth, like cock the gun back and then fire it, and he broke one of his teeth off, one of his fangs. And obviously they're working on like a really tiny budget, and he would have had to go to hospital. So he just asked for the special effects department to bring some super glue, and he super glued his tooth back into his mouth.
What? Ow! No.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Right. I know this is going to be a bit of a biggie. So here we go. Which is why I'm sandwiching it in a way. But also because I love Martin Charlton very, very much indeed. And so, yeah. Hi guys, long time listener, first time emailer, etc. As you may have seen on Twitter, my father passed away on Christmas Eve after a long battle with dementia and a thankfully shorter battle with pneumonia. He died surrounded by those who loved him, his wife, his sons, his sisters, and will be missed by so many more. What made my Christmas was waking up the next morning and seeing my son, Will, have a wonderful day. He loved his presents, he was kind and caring to both me and my mother in our admittedly fragile states, and encouraged me not to be sad for what was over, but to be thankful for what had happened. I've always been proud of my dad, and I'll miss him with all my heart, but he showed me what it means to be a father, and if I can learn anything from those lessons, I know my son will be okay. Merry Christmas, guys, you're the greatest. That's humbling.
Right, yeah. I read that before the show. I read that when it came in, and I was at work, and I teared up a little bit, mate. Like,
so yeah. I mean, it's it must be difficult to lose somebody at this time of year. Like, I mean, it's difficult to lose a relative anyway. But man,
this sort of time of year, absolutely. But
yeah. But
like I say, it sounds like your son is, he's got his little head screwed on.
Yeah, when blightitis can bring that level of kind of maturity and level things in a degree that when adult rationality goes out the window.
I'm just happy you could bring some light to what would otherwise have been a pretty sad Christmas.
Yeah, because the little boy will obviously be dealing with his own stuff, and I know that he said before that him and his boy sort of play a lot of like the Lego games together and stuff, and. Probably been on superchargers together, and I don't know. I think a lot of Martin. I think he's an awesome guy. So I'm sending out lots of love across the miles.
All of it.
Right. So we move on to Shionu. Belated Merry Christmas, guys. This is the tale of getting my wife an X-Bone for Christmas.
Sexy.
Oh, this podcast is leaning over into the green.
I won't let it.
It's leaning from your cushions, sir.
No, I will flood you with my cushions.
The Xbox One wasn't supposed to happen. A higher than expected bonus, surprise cashback from a refinance, and a really good deal on a refurbished console all fell into place, as if fate had cast its lot in my wife's favour. But how to present such an unexpected gift? Well, since I was a child, and a tradition that I was continuing with my daughter was to make boot prints using the flour to show Santa coming down the chimney to deliver gifts. That's really cool. This year I used my daughter's shoes to make the prints, leading them from her room to where her new Xbox One and Fallout 4 played on the screen. It was an absolute joy to watch my wife look at me quizzically as the prints led from my daughter Elsa's room and were far too small to be Santa. The look in her eye, that gleam of childish wonder that is so often hidden inside, bubbled up to the surface as she traced the prints to their final destination, where an Xbox One controller held the note, "Love, Elsa." It was a fun reversal, a Christmas memory I won't soon forget. Giving a loved one something special is a really unbelievable experience. Also, it helps that we now have 2 systems to play Fallout 4 on, which I've been enjoying immensely. Have a fantastic New Year, guys. Shunawoo.
Xenoo.
That's really cool.
That's cute.
It's getting heartwarming.
It's like it's becoming like a John Lewis advert.
I know, but you've had your PlayStation leanings, and now I'm nudging it into the green.
What's that noise?
It's I've got some pop in a plastic cup, or as when I had my Christmas dinner, I put it down and I took a picture. And I was like, "Oh, it's not going to be as good as yours, but I'm chuffed for my Christmas dinner."
Yeah.
Carl Moon was just like child's cup and a mug of gravy. I was like, yeah, class to the last. He was like, wasn't a criticism.
Speaking of Child's Cup, one of the other things I got this year, Laura got me, right? She's got me a full-sized, right, Lego Man cup.
Oh, very cool.
It's really... I didn't know what it was at first. I was like, what is this? She went, it's a cup. I went, is it a Lego cup? Oh,
that reminds me. You were talking about Lego Star Wars the other day?
Something like that, yeah.
It's just come up on the Xbox sale, and it's backwards compatible for £3.74. Should I pull the trigger?
Good game. Fun game.
All right, then.
Click it.
Right, so we've got Alex Fusil or Fusile.
Fusilli.
Apologies. You got me going.
I can't even see it. I'm just guessing.
That's wrong. So Alex Fusil, we'll call him. I'm sorry if that's wrong.
Alex F.
Alex. We'll just call him Alex.
We call him Al.
Alex.
You be his bodyguard.
Alex is Paddy.
Oh, it's Christmas.
Oh, pa. Anyway, Alex says, "Hi, Paddy and CJ. My most memorable Christmas was the one after pirating PS1 games became popular."
Yo ho ho.
Oh, PlayStation. I used to be lucky to get one game at Christmas due to how expensive they used to be. But after I had my PS1 chipped, my mum and dad would buy 10 pirate games for the price of one Ghost game. I think this Christmas really had a large part to play in defining my tastes. I got Tekken, Final Fantasy VII, Metal Gear Solid, and a few hidden gems like Future Cop, LAPD, and Suikoden 2.
Oh, Future Cop was great.
All of which I have bought legit copies of since. I think the best thing about this particular Christmas was how great a surprise it was going through all those games over the course of a year. Hope you guys have a great Christmas and even better 2016. It's kind of cool that not the first person I've heard that when they were younger got a pirated system, like fell in love with games, and when they got older ended up buying those games back almost as like a kind of little thank you and stuff, or to say that they'd legitimately gotten them.
Yeah, it's like when people, completely legitimately watch a TV show, for example, like Game of Thrones, and then go buy the DVDs. It's like, yeah, okay. It's nice.
Why? What, you mean to say thank you?
Yeah, because you like the thing. It's like, yeah, I will buy this eventually when it comes out over here, but I want to watch it now.
Tell you what I want to relive afterwards on Blu-ray. 10 episodes of Walking.
Look, you've watched one episode.
What?
They're not all the same.
What? I've watched four series and 2 episodes.
What?
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 I've watched a lot of Game of Thrones, and before I kind of finally just went, no more.
But it's
if these series got rid of the walking, if people just fucking turned up, it's like, I can't bear Lord of the Rings either. It's just like 3 movies of... Kevin Smith was right. It's 3 movies of people walking to a fucking volcano.
But, we'll have words later.
Alright then.
Oh.
I'll put on my special trousers.
Hey, I've read the Game of Thrones books twice at this point. Twice. All of them.
Okay.
And they're brilliant. And the show's brilliant. And the video game, the Telltale game, is brilliant.
I've heard good things about.
It's fucking great.
A lot of the recent Telltale. Apparently, that Borderlands game is supposed to be surprisingly good.
Yeah, I think it finished up recently, didn't it?
And somebody was saying that I think there's one podcast I listened to said that surprisingly that that Minecraft Telltale game is pretty much like Minecraft the Saturday morning cartoon.
I've heard that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be really good. But
Speaking of Telltale, do you know there's a Batman one coming?
yeah,
Yeah, it looks cool, and that's a nice siege to a game I got, a board game. I got Batman Love Letter.
okay.
Right. Okay. So Batman Love Letter. Right. There's a game called Love Letter that came out. It comes in a little pouch. It only has 16 cards and it has a few little chips in front of you. That's it. 16 cards, the whole game. And the aim of your game is to get your love letter to a princess, and you kind of play cards on each other. But we've got the Batman version, which is kind of you trying to capture villains. So it's you only have one card in your hand at any point. On your turn, you pick up a card, you look at it, and if it has an effect, you have to do it. So you have to get rid of one card. You can only have one in your hand. So if you pick one up, you have to put one down again. And essentially it has you trying to work out, what other people have got, trying to knock people out of the game, and at the end of the game you sort of see who's got the most valuable card, and they win a point. And the more points you get, I think the first to 7 wins. Really fun. You can play it in like 5 minutes, and it costs about £6. Like, it's a fun little co-op sort of tabletop game. And like, my mum and dad aren't really game people, and they got into it. Like, we worked it out in about 2 minutes. Like, from nothing, we worked out how to play it, and we were kind of working out the meta within about 10 minutes. It was great. Really, really good. Batman Love Letter. It's great.
Cool.
It's great. I like board games, mate. I fucking love board games.
So there was a final quandary that I threw out.
It's quite an important question, this, isn't it?
It's a very important question. Which is the best Christmas vegetable? Parsnips, carrots, the world of potatoes, or sprouts?
What?
Now I'm quite surprised with these numbers, frankly, because there's some. Have you not seen the results?
I haven't really looked. I clicked my choice and then I left it.
Right. Let me see what kind of consternation that we have in the meantime. Spugnotherson said, hands down, no arguments, the mighty Brussels sprout. Joshua Garrity says, all of them mushed up and fried the next morning, bubble and squeak, motherfucker. Ooh. To which I told him that I've never had bubble and squeak, and he was like, what? And I was like, capital O underscore lowercase o. And he was like, sort it out. And I was like, capital O underscore capital O. That
was the Oxford English Dictionary word of the year, wasn't it?
It would probably. Josh Crow says, I'm a fairly recent convert to sprouts, but I could never stab my precious spuds in the back. Sounds like a knob joke. There's
honestly, I'm seeing like a Mr. Potato Head, like a kitchen knife rammed in the back of him.
Sione Boy was agreeing with Joshua about the amazement. I've never had bubble and squeak, but I've where people go, shall I order some food in? And they'll go, hello, is that Ludo Pizza? I'd like to order a pizza to my house. Or people go, hello, is that the local Indian takeaway? Can you bring me 6 giant crisps and some rice and some curry? Thank you. I live at 116 Brubrobo Street. Yes, thank you. I'll be in by. Or people go, hello, is the Chinese takeaway? Can I have some of those things that look like worms with some sauce and also some rice and some chicken? Thanks.
So
bye.
When people order takeaways, what you're trying to say?
I've never done that.
Wow.
I've never done it.
How?
Never done it. I've never been able to rationalise in the back of my mind, like the expense at the side of buying things in supermarkets. I grew up in a poor...
Thing is, you bought an Xbox One though.
No, but that's difficult. That's difficult. That's not down the toilet the next day.
Wow.
Not generally. We nearly missed one. I'll move away from that because there might be people just
back to the issue at hand.
Somebody listening to the podcast, and there was like Sunlight Blade did when he was sort of laughing, or that person in the library. Somebody will go like "fuck off," just really loudly on the bus, and people will turn around and be like, "This man's never ordered takeaway," and the bus just goes "fuck off." The end. Let me see. JB Playful Wolf says sprouts. I'm surprised that I thought it was only Kate Gray that loves sprouts, but clearly there's a sprout uprising, a sprout rising.
Is this ironic sprout love? Like, I can't
I
think
don't
this
know.
is real, because, like, I love sprouts, me.
I never
Yeah.
knew that was a thing. Ironic sprout love.
Yeah.
Again, they'd probably be on a music festival,
good name.
maybe on the acoustic stage.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage.
But JB says sprouts, to my surprise, I never liked them growing up, but my fiance cooks them superbly with ginger beer and salami.
Who?
They're not people, they're foods and drinks.
Right? Ginger?
Right,
Yeah,
so
I still can't place that. It's mink. Ugh.
Okay, the results are parsnips 22%,
Right?
carrots 7%,
Ooh, yeah.
world of potatoes 52%.
Go on, the lads.
Essentially, potatoes are covering like mashed, roast, and boiled in that.
Well, I
regard.
mean, with Christmas dinner, there really only is roast.
That's not true.
Way, it's a separate
What?
question.
What? You not? Oh,
We're roasties,
I
mate.
like my mash. Yeah, also roasties, of course. But,
It's a roast.
Yeah, but you'd still have mashed potato.
No, only roast
What?
them, mate. Parboil them a
Who
little
are you?
bit. You parboil them.
Oh.
You cut them up. You parboil them. You chuck them in the oven, right? Bit of oil, bit of herbs on top, right? Turn them over every 15 minutes or so. Lovely.
Hold the fuck on.
Fluffy on the inside,
We're
crispy on the
not
outside.
talking. We're not talking about getting rid of roast potatoes. We're talking about having mashed potatoes are a staple of any cooked meal.
That stapler
regard.
has run out of staples in this house.
You have no staples on your plate, sir.
There's no retailers of stationery in this house.
Yeah, I know where my vote would be, but we'll have to see if listeners.
Are you being coy about veg?
We'll have to see. We'll have to see if listeners can decide.